Okay guys, in today's video we're going to be running Dakota at 4 different rodeos, and we are going to start with the first round of San Angelo. So this is more like a slack for everybody. The first round is not a performance. So I'm getting him warmed up where everybody else is warming up. I'm trotting him around, making him trot to change the direction without stopping, just getting him really warm. So I do a nice long trot on him, and I do post it on him. I don't on Chester, but I want Dakota his stride more extended. And then we are going to lope as well. I always want to make sure that they are super warm so that they are not at risk for an injury, because I didn't get their muscles warm enough for them to run. But he was really great here to warm up. He was really nice. I sometimes breeze him, but I didn't in here just because there were so many people and it's not a big space, but sometimes I do breeze him kind of down the warm-up pin if it is safe to do so, because that gets him really ready to run and really gets his stride out nice. So I'm just going to keep loping him really calm, not really moving my hands a whole lot, and just staying really quiet. And then I'm going to go in to wait to run. I think I was in the second drag, so I was waiting for him to finish. I was first on the ground, so here I am while they're dragging the arena, trying to keep Dakota calm, even though he can see the barrels over that blue tarp. And I just waited on them to call my name, and I actually got pretty nervous here just because I wanted to make it back so bad, I guess. So here I am walking him into the alleyway, still waiting on the gate man to give me the okay. Gotta make sure everybody's ready, the timers are ready, the flag man's ready, and the barrels are set. I walk him up the alleyway so I can give myself the best chance to line him up good. And here we go. We had a really nice first barrel, pretty snappy, finished it good. Our second was really nice, didn't really need to leg lift, I don't think, but whatever. And it was just a really smooth run that got us back at San Angelo for round 2.
Time for Sadie, a 16:40, 16:40. That took the lead. Tori Moss.
Right after San Angelo, round 1, the next day we went to Levelland, Texas to run slack there, and this was back in April, so he was still shedding so much hair. He grew so much hair this winter. We don't live in Antarctica, so not sure why he did that, but it took a long time to get it all off. Once I was done with the Slick Easy, I'm going to go over him with just a normal hard brush to make sure I get everything off before tacking him up. I throw on my white 5-star saddle pad and then my star saddle on top. Make sure everything is sitting just where it needs to be. It's all centered, it's in the right spot, just to make sure everything is good before I do those cinches. And I'm not gonna really cinch him up until we go to run. So I just do these kind of loosely to where it's gonna hold the saddle in place and he can't shake the saddle off, but it's not, super duper tight or anything. Once the cinches are done, I pull my stirrup down and get on my matching master breast collar. I think this breast collar looks really good with this saddle. I have seen though that they've made one with stars, so we'll see if I get one of those to match anytime soon. And then I'm gonna pick his feet to make sure there's no rocks in there's no foreign objects he's picked up anywhere, and just to get all of that dirt out of his feet before we run. His feet weren't too bad. There wasn't just a ton of stuff in there, but there was definitely quite a bit of dirt packed in with some shavings and just different things like that, but nothing harmful for sure. Just wanted to get it cleaned out and get a good look at it. Looking inside your horse's hoofs daily is also a good practice to get into. Now that I've picked all of his feet, I'm going to get his sports boots on, and he's running in these Cactus Hot Headstall sports boots. I think they look really cute on him. The blue pops really well. The little pink is cute too, and the green looks really good on him. So I do really like these boots. I run Chester in them too, but I think I like them just a little bit better on Dakota, just because the pink and red mix on Chester isn't the best, but they still look good on him. So I'm gonna get all those boots on. I run in front and back boots just because they're going so fast, they're turning so hard. I want to make sure they're protected and supported. And then of course I'm going to get my bell boots on last. And we have to have our little sip of Dr. Pepper before we go to run. And it's so funny to me how much he loves this. It was an accident that I learned that he loved it, but it turned into a thing pretty quick. Now I'm going to hop on and walk through the parking lot to get to the warm-up. And this warm-up is what people are running out to. So everybody is like packed together in this really, really tight space over to the side. And you run in and out of the alleyway right there. So that had Dakota a little pumped up. Not gonna lie, every time someone would come running out, he would get prancy because he was ready to go and he was really, really seeing everything that was going on. People were coming flying out, running into the circle with all the people. So it was definitely interesting, but not the worst warm-up I've ever been in, if I'm gonna be honest. I trotted him for a while and then I loped him. And I really tried to do this kind of during a drag when people weren't going to be running in and out, just so he wasn't so worked up when someone came flying out at us. He did really good though. This was a really tight space. It looks like it cleared out a little bit then, but when I had to turn around to go the other way, it was pretty tight. And then I walked him out and just walked him in the parking lot until it was time for our run. There you can see the people warming up behind me from this angle. And I'm going to walk in all the way to the left of the alleyway. And I sent him and I sat too soon at the first barrel, almost hit it. So he kind of stepped off of it. Not too bad. And then we had kind of a smooth run after that, and we were barely out of placing, like barely. So I was pretty sad about that first barrel costing us a little bit of time, but that rodeo was fun. It was a nice calm slack. And then we are going to go back for round 2 of San Angelo.
What are you doing?
We got back to San Angelo the night before my performance. So I'm going to beamer Dakota and nebulize him. The nebulizer's to clear his airways, add some moisture back in there, and then the beamer is kind of like a massage blanket. It helps with circulation and helps them from being sore, and they seem to really, really like it. There's Chester waiting his turn. Once Dakota is done, I am going to get Chester's beamer blanket on and his nebulizer as well. His little ears flicking was so cute to me. I also want to say that I don't have 2 beamer blankets. They're the same beamer blanket and nebulizer. I just said that kind of weird. So I get the beamer on him and get that belly strap on, get it clipped in the front, and then he is actually going to get the beamer cuffs on his legs as well. I did not do this on Dakota because I'm going to cold hose him, but there is Chester all suited up and it's time to get the nebulizer on him, which is not his favorite thing at all. It really helps him, but he is not a fan, and I always have to make sure he's not going to break it on anything or on me because he's kind of a jerk sometimes. I've been hit in the head quite a bit with that. Now I'm going to get him a hay bag made so he will be busy while I take Dakota to the wash rack to cold hose his legs. So I got Chester about a flake of alfalfa in there, hung it up, took Dakota to the wash rack and cold hosed his front legs and his back legs, each for about 10 minutes. So I set a timer for 10 minutes, cold hosed the front, set another timer for 10 minutes, and cold hosed the back. Once I was done cold hosing, I put some Spurs Big Fix and moisturizer on his hoofs to kind of lock that moisture in, especially because we're going back and forth between some pretty dry climates and some humid climates, so it's really weird for his hoofs. And when we're in the dry, I want to make sure they are moisturized. And now I have Dakota back in his stall and I fill his hay bag up for him for the night. So there it is, all full, and there he is, happy eating it. And then it was time for our run the next day. You can see me kind of back in that holding pen, and I will tell you that holding pen is so small. This is a different arena from round 1. Not really sure why they do that, but this is the round 2 arena. He kind of stepped off the first, but we had a really smoking second barrel. I think I did actually have to leg lift that time, and a really nice third barrel. And we ran a really nice time. I was proud of that run because I handled my nerves pretty well and there were a billion people there. And here is the Cowboy Channel view. I don't know why it turned green on the Cowboy Channel, but it did. There you can see how I lined him up, and I just sat a little bit too soon at the first barrel, but we really made up for it at the second and third, and he ran really hard for me in this really tiny pin out into that closed gate. And I was really happy with this. I thought we did good. After his run, I'm going to rinse him off. So I'm going to rinse off all of those sweat marks, and I'm going to cold hose his legs again. This is the next day from the last time I cold hosed him. This is just going to really keep down any inflammation, and he really wanted a drink out of the water hose, it seems. Once I was done with that, I walked him outside. I was actually seeing if he wanted to roll, but he kind of went over to eat some grass before we came back and rolled in that little kind of warm-up arena from round one, because the arena for round one is next to the barn, and then the arena for round two is a little further off from the barn. He had a really nice roll. He really loves to do that, and I also wanted to get him out in the breeze, help him cool off and cool down. He still has that flare strip on. I usually just let him take the flare strip off. Now we are in Lufkin, Texas for another slack, and he is looking really nice and pretty in that star saddle, and he has the Aztec boots on for this run. When I put the bit on, I always untie the halter from the trailer. I don't leave any hanging halters, and especially not a hanging halter that is connected to something that is tied, because if your horse gets a leg in it, it's really not pretty, and it's more common than you think. So I always completely untie my halter and the lead rope and just set it down somewhere so I'm not running the risk of my horse getting a leg caught in it or somebody else's horse. This is especially important if you take one horse away and you leave that halter hanging and there's another horse tied right next to it. You're just asking for all kinds of problems there. So just always untie it and set it aside. And now I'm getting his bit on, I'm getting his tie-down strap clipped, and my helmet on. But he decided that you did not need to see me putting my helmet on. He kind of blocked the shot there, but he's giving you a really good look at that saddle. Once I have my helmet on, I'm going to throw the reins over and clip them, and then I'm going to tighten my saddle. He's had a little bit with the saddle on, so if he had any air in his stomach, he's probably gotten it all out. And I walked through the parking lot and kind of through the barns to get to the little warm-up. There was a more secluded warm-up in one of the barns. It was a little hard, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to walk him for a long time, especially because we've been hauling so much. I want to make sure he's really stretched out and that I work out any kind of stiffness before I ask for a trot or a lope, just because they've had to stand in that trailer and haul for a while. And the whole time I was in here, Chester was screaming at us. He's not dangerously buddy sour, but if you ever hear a horse screaming while I'm on Dakota, it might just be Chester. And so I'm just going to keep walking him around, looking at everything and getting him really stretched out. However, on one of my laps around, I looked down and realized that my bridle broke. One of the conchos was missing and the bit was barely hanging on that side. So I'm so glad I saw that before I went to run. We had to just grab a random concho and put it on there. So he was not matching at all, but it was at least functional. So after we fixed the head stall, I went into the bigger warm-up to lope just because it was worked up and everybody else was in there, and slack had started and it was right next to where we run, so I could hear what number they were on. At rodeos, they really don't announce numbers. You kind of have to memorize whose names are right before you, because you're going to be really lucky if a rodeo announcer says what number they're on in slack. So I'm going to lope him for a long time, really getting him loosened up. I'm not going to lope him long enough, obviously, that it would make him tired. I'm not trying to get his energy out or anything. I am just trying to have this nice, calm lope to get him stretched out, get his muscles warm, and make sure he's not going to pull anything in the run because I didn't warm his muscles up enough. So I'm going to lope both ways in here. You can tell we're not going super fast. I'm just keeping my hands low and asking him to stay at that one speed. And this warm-up was much bigger than the last two we had warmed up in, so I was definitely very happy about that. I was feeling a little claustrophobic at San Angelo, I'm not gonna lie, and at Leveland for sure. I think that one had me more claustrophobic than Angelo did. So you can see I am loping him for quite a while. Here I'm making the circles a little bit bigger as there aren't as many people in here, so he can really stretch out and get his stride going. Now I'm going to go in and try to watch a few runners because I've never been here before. I have no idea what it looks like, and there's this weird little like hole you can get into to see. It's not really a holding pen. I'm not even sure if I was supposed to be in there, but I went in there to watch, and then it was time for my run, and I sent him from further back. I got a little too confident, okay, and he popped me up out of my seat, but we recovered well. He kind of slowed down so that I could get back with him, and he saved my butt, and we still managed to place here even with that. He ran a really good time, and it kind of makes me sad because I want to know what it would be if I had not tried to fall off at the first barrel.
This is day number 1 of the Rookie Roundup. Last night we had like a little dinner on the Cowboy Channel lawn and kind of talked and checked in and got our back numbers and stuff. But today we are doing the round table with Charmaine and James. We kind of have a busy day. So we're going to do our little interviews and then sign autographs and stuff and get my media training so I can be a better YouTuber, obviously. So get to meet some sponsors, get to be trained and mentored, I guess, by Charmaine and a few other people. It'll be interesting to see what it is. I don't really know what's going to happen, but hopefully it'll be fun. The wind is crazy. A little blue fit check. Hopefully my hat does not leave me. It still has hairspray on it from the last time I ran in it like a long time ago, so hopefully I'll be good. It's so windy. It's supposed to storm, and we don't have stalls or anything. This is where our horses are going to be tonight for the performance. So they may get to chill in the horse trailer a lot, so they don't get rained on. Okay, we're running because it's going to rain. It is raining, okay. That might be the most cat food I've ever seen in my life.
Here we are getting set up and ready for the barrel racing rookie roundtable. The crew is kind of making sure we're all in a good spot, that everything looks good. This was not live, so we were able to kind of switch stuff around as we went and make sure everything was perfect before we started. There, they switched my seat. Here we are after it's been recorded and we're done trying to figure out where we're going to go, and my little rat tail here makes an appearance.
Okay, we finished our social media training. It was like a lecture. I didn't video in it because it felt weird, but now I'm chill till 3:30 and then we take a picture. Won't be able to vlog it, but hopefully some of y'all will have been there.
After we were done with interviews and the little classes, I snuck into Cowtown to kind of look at it, see what it would look like, and then it was time for our first round, our long go. There were only 15 girls that could run, so the top 15 in the rookie standings get to run at the Rookie Roundup, and here we are at the opening kind of grand entry, and they did not tell us where to go, so we went to the wrong spot and then had to turn around in front of all these people and go over to the right spot, so that was pretty funny, but we managed to get there. Okay, we did. It was kind of a little chaotic in the back, and we weren't given a lot of direction about where to go. Once we were done being introduced and the grand entry was over, we got out of the arena, and then I went to go get Dakota, warmed him up, and it was time for our first run. The top 8 out of this round get to advance to the round tomorrow, so that was definitely our goal. I walk him in, he did really good, and then I sent him, and we had a really, really nice run, and you're about to see the horror that is about to unfold. So he was ready to smoke that third, and he fell. I had no idea that the dirt was bad. I didn't kick him, I was just petting on him, my legs kind of moved, and about 6 other girls almost fell too. So the next day they fixed the dirt, which was super awesome. It was really nice that they listened and made it safe for us. There's a little replay that they played the next day, and we did make it back in the top 8 because he still ran a 14.0 with that fall, which also keeps me up at night. There's the grand entry from the next day at round 2, and the top 4 from this go get to immediately come back for the shootout round of 4. So that was our goal for this day, and I was trying to really erase that fall from my mind because I know they had worked really, really hard to fix the dirt, and the dirt was amazing, let me tell you. We had a really nice run. I was trying so hard not to hit anything that I kind of had him step off the second barrel. He would have been faster if I didn't do that, but we had a smoking third barrel, probably one of our best, and we clocked fast enough to get back to that shootout round of 4. And you can see he was kind of weird and spooked at something in the alleyway, but I did not fall off when he hopped out from under me. And then we waited kind of for the whole rodeo to restart, and we went through every event just with the top 4. There's a look at that leaderboard that got us into the top 4, and here is our shootout round run. He walked in really nice, and this is one of our best first barrels ever, I think, and he absolutely smoked the second barrel, and I just sat too soon at the third. This keeps me up every single night because even with that and him blowing way off of it and running back by the second barrel, it was a 13.2 and a 13.1 won it, so I try really hard not to think about it, but I'd be lying if I said it doesn't keep me up at night. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video really soon. Bye!